A straight fluorescent light rod hovers perfectly, equally parallel to the ground, over a corner of a wall, establishing the geometric nature of the sculpture. This blue light rod only reveals the surface of the artwork as the subject matter, while three other light tubes in orange, yellow, and pink, respectively from left to right, pasted on the other side of it, illuminates a bright rhombus-shaped shadow behind. Its center aligns with the center line of this corner, successfully transforming it into a focal point along with the light rod. The rhombus rests on the immersive bordering surfaces that are glazed with a calm blue, close to that of a purple, that spreads itself across the whole room, occupying most of the space. However, this gentle giant that envelopes the audience into the piece itself is only acting as a background to the eye-catching rhombus and the striking line across it, positioned in the center of it all, a majestic, confident yet calming artwork painted by the natural reflection of the light. The most organically geometric piece, with the main fluorescent light rod measuring 244 centimeters across, is not just the astonishing work of nature, but also of American artist Dan Flavin as well. Flavin was born on the April 31st of 1933 in Queens, New York, within a neighborhood named Jamaica, and he died in Riverhead, New York on November 29, 1996. He came into this world with a love for drawing, but was sent to the Immaculate Conception Preparatory Seminary in Brooklyn to study priesthood instead, from 1947 to 1952. A spark of acknowledgement for his artistic side was ignited when he went for an adult art extension program in the University of Maryland during his U.S. Military Air Force service in Korea from 1954 to 1955 with his twin brother. From there on, the spark only grew as he attended various art institutions starting from 1956 and eventually ended with the University of Columbia, where he studied drawing and painting before he went on to get a job. Dan Flavin started off strong with his first debut artwork, The Diagonal of May 25, 1963, already featuring his solid identity as a fluorescent light rod minimalist. He was not always like that though, as his earlier works were influenced by the abstract expressionism style that was popular at that time. After his debut, however, he maintained his reputation as the guy who makes sculptures out of commercially available fluorescent lights in all the coming exhibitions, including the significant Green Gallery exhibition, which makes him one of the pioneers of the minimalism art movement started in the late 1960s in America. The artwork being presented today is a sculpture made by Flavin from his collection of works between late 1960s to early 1970s, named Corners, Barriers, and Corridors. It was dedicated to the last exhibition in Duan Gallery by Virginia Duan, who was a gallerist, art dealer, and a huge supporter of contemporary and minimalist art in 1971. Minimalism was a huge deal in rebelling against the deep personal and emotional expression of art in the abstract expressionism style, and instead focused on viewing an object at its most objective and pure form, which resulted in a lot of works featuring just simple geometric shapes and simple composition. Despite being a minimalist work, the colors used in this piece are nuanced and abundant. The toned-down blue with a hint of red that spreads across the majority of the immersive room paints a calm and serene atmosphere, while the warm orange projected from light tubes facing towards the corner is radiated from that small rhombus. Combining these two moods together provides a sense of comfort for the viewers that are sinking into such colors and lights. The sculptor successfully uses complementary colors to contrast between the rhombus shape and the background. This makes it easier to differentiate between the two forms and accentuates the movement following the gradual process of intersection between the two different sections as well, due to the clearer view of where the color changes and starts mixing into each other. The use of red, yellow, and orange creates an analogous color scheme that blends nicely with each other, creating a satisfying gradient and nuance in the colors. This, added on with a slightly altered hue resulting from the shadows of the corner, brings out an ambient, calming, and dreamy feel. The gentle and subtle fade from one hue to another slows the artwork's pace down as the audience eyes glide through the change of colors gradually, bringing out a slow and steady sense of movement in the piece. The warm toned colors also provide a sense of welcome and comfort, and since the colors are illuminated by lights, it gives an extra brightness to the colors, amplifying their warmth and ambience. Even after having such a distinct rhombus shape formed, the painter of this sculpture is still the light, which colors the walls in a patchy and blurry manner, resulting in a contrast against the clear, concise, and singular color of the light rod. This contrast anchors the artwork by giving it a clear focal point so that the surrounding colors and textures all fall into place to complement the subject matter, thus improving the cohesion of all the elements. By keeping the anchor of this artwork simplistic and geometric, it delivers a confident and direct image to the audience of its straightforward intention. The color blue for the light rod we used is also more vibrant with a hint of yellow in it, differentiating it from the surrounding blue hue, which is more mature and calming as it is in a more desaturated redder tone. This difference gives the color scheme of the overall artwork a slightly more playful pop, as the thin lively blue line adds a final touch of energy, which contributes to the unique vibe of the work as well. When we stand in front of the work, we realize that there are many lines that are tracing the overall image of the shapes. These lines also contribute in establishing the sense of balance in this work as they draw out the lines of symmetry. The light rod is one of the main contours acting as a line of symmetry, which is evident in how the rhombus splits into equal triangles on both sides of the rod. This symmetry creates a sense of peace due to the balance resulting from identical placements of elements on both opposite sides, thus making it satisfying to view. It also highlights the geometric aspect of the work as well, since it brings focus to each line that produces this symmetrical effect. Furthermore, by distributing the light rod's length equally between each side of the wall, Dan Flavin was able to generate another line of symmetry, this time from the natural vertical line of the corner. This balances the sculpture even more, as now not only is the top and bottom symmetrical, the left and right looks equal too, like the two perpendicular walls facing on either side of the line. The stark contrast between the complementary colors create an implied line around the rhombus, together with an extra layer of distinct blue light coming from the subject matter, which helps in tracing out the form as well. This makes this rhombus look more distinct and significant and noticeable. Even so, the overall outlook of the artwork does not seem to be sharp and aggressive as one might expect a geometric piece to look like, as the lights that spread across soften the contours of such creases into mellow whispers of incisions. The rhombus shape also successfully blends and fits into the structure of the wall corner by making the flat reflective outlines of the form mimic the same geometric slanted gradient generated from the perspective lines. This contributes to the symmetrical and balanced effect of the sculpture, as the subject matter blends together with the surrounding. Balance obtained from opposing lines with opposing movements is also present. While the lines of the wall crease points inward towards the corner, the lines of the rhombus shape points outwards, creating an opening motion opposing the strong pull of the corner. This creates a sense of peace in the artwork as the balance between the movement of the lines neutralizes each other. It is almost similar to the effect created by the traditional flower tube toy in China, where all the line directions of the flower balance each other out, producing a very consistent and well-rounded composition. The light rod, being the subject matter, rests in the center of it all, calmly as it stands its neutral ground as the straight horizontal line with no extreme gradients. This tunes the artwork into a serene and quiet tone, as the unwavering and confident contour of a flat state provides a peaceful space and focus that balances the extremities that rebel against each other. Dan Flavin's works are famous for their ability to bend the perception of space. Let's look at how he does that. Having the focal point protrude horizontally from the corner makes the corner look more significant and the depth of it more prominent, as subject matters are often considered as ground zero, which makes the corner look deeper and sharper as it is behind the light rod. Additionally, the corner is made to seem more significant due to the work extending along two perpendicular walls, dropping the depression from ground zero right in the middle. This effectively warps the viewer's perception of space and will make them wonder when a corner in a wall looked so deep. The main light source painting the image onto the wall is positioned parallel to the ground, at eye level of the viewers. This gives the artwork a confident and modest look, as it communicates with the viewers at their level, while also embodying a consoling atmosphere as the gentle colors and lights are presented embracing and speaking to the viewers directly, as if demonstrating to the viewers that they understand them. Additionally, some galleries exhibit the artwork with a significantly more amount of space above the rhombus, which accentuates the gentle and kind personality of the work, as the access wall makes the subject matter seem smaller and more humble, dropping down from a potential height just to stay with the viewers. The light rod extends for over 2 meters in length, effectively enveloping the open space around the audience in the warmth of the colors from all sides, away from the cold blue, making the corner look bigger in size as it falls into this wide span as well. As a minimalist artwork, the meaning behind Untitled to Virginia Duan 2 is really no deeper than what is shown on the surface. Dan Flavin just wanted us to notice all the effects caused by the various details and occurrences in the sculpture, whether it's the nature of a corner or the innate reflection of light. He wanted us to pause, notice, and ponder on the reality of such things by seeing it just the way it is. He stated once that it is what it is, and it ain't nothing else. There is no overwhelming spirituality you are supposed to come into contact with, and it is very easy to understand. One might not think of light as a matter of fact, but I do, as plain and as open and direct an art as you will ever find. Minimalist paintings serve as a subtle and important reminder for us humans who are often so invested in current activities to just take a step back to view life. Whether someone is struggling to meet a deadline or grieving over the loss of someone, it reminds us to simply appreciate the way this world worked out. It allows us to appreciate the beauty of being sad, the wonder of just being happy, and the fact that this world was just a coincidental miracle that gave us humans emotions, the ability to think deep, and gave artists like Dan Flavin fluorescent lights that reflect on surfaces the way they do, walls and space to create what he considered art. Everything that made this artwork possible is the art in itself, and that's what makes minimalism so beautiful. Sometimes it's just what it is what I reckon to be the message that echoes behind all minimalist works. So perhaps the detailed analysis on the mood of the installation wasn't necessary. But once you start to explore this way of thinking, you'll realize that even the notion of us humans overthinking and overanalyzing an artwork might just be what was meant to be.